success.
Yeah, I bring my kids in. They come sit in the class, and they say, "Well, Dad, we did something like this in our class, and he's in 5th grade."
Yeah.
So it's like, see,
Yep.
and so you got to learn it now because you're gonna have to learn it again in high school, and then in college, you're expected to use it.
Yep, you're expected to use it. I like what you said. You're expected to use it, and you were just saying with your daughter, and she's just in 1st grade. You were teaching them multiplication.
Yeah, she's
most times
advanced.
in 1st grade they're just starting with a 2-digit addition. And so you can see that this is someone. If you have a child in 1st grade, you have to compete against this young lady who's learning multiplication in 1st grade, and it shows that they can begin to learn these things.
Why can't you learn it then?
Right.
Why not? Why can't we teach a 1st grader how to multiply and divide?
Well, I think that's a good point too, because when you sit back and you think about it, children will do what you give them, and if you think small, they will always stay in a small setting.
So true.
And so you have to think outside the box. And I'm not against children that are really involved. A lot of the schools are pushing chess. Chess is a good thinking program. It makes you think. But the bottom line is, math. You don't get a job, with chess. You can't go to somebody and say, I'm a chess champion, and they're gonna give you a job. But I'm saying what we need to also do is to work with the young people. I'm interested in Saturday academies. I just can't understand why so much time is wasted on the weekends, with young people who really need this help. And we need to find a way, and not worry about the money, but find a way to help these young people on a Saturday morning from 9 to 12. Why not go in there and learn mathematics? I mean, what's wrong with that? Why are we not pushing that? And I'm okay with people who are doing, these chess camps or chess tournaments. I think that's great. But my thing right now is that if we don't start telling young people that here are the things that you need to have to get into the University of Pennsylvania or Delaware State University or University of Delaware or Villanova University, Westchester University or Wilmington University, we have to keep it real with our young people. They will do only what we ask them to do. And if you think outside the box and you say, you know what, I'm really going to spend some time on the weekends with a group of students, and I'm going to do this, and even if it's volunteered, we need to get our educators to continue to do what they do in the classroom. There's some great teachers in the state of Delaware, believe me, and you're a great professor. We know that. And you're thinking outside the box, you're motivated, you have a lot of ideas, you want to help fix the village. And I'm just proud that when you see a young brother out here trying to make a difference in children's lives. And so I just had to get that in.
And I want to point out something as we go through this reform movement. What they're doing by them trying to expose them to the like the chess and so is to help them think analytically.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, that's what the new test, that common state standards, it involves a lot of analytical thinking. But the students still need, as you pointed out, those basic skills. And you're trying to get them to think analytically, but they can't because they don't have this, and so they can't do that, justifying and because they don't have the basic skills. And so those basic skills, we need to take time out, as you pointed, to begin to develop those basic skills. So one other thing you pointed out was that you found your niche, and I wanted to make certain we talked about that.
Yeah.
We know that we're in a economic situation, and whether we're in a bad situation or what, finding your niche. What is it that you can do in order to survive? And everyone has a gift or talent. And what you said you had to do, you had to find out in order to get a full-time position there, what is it that I can do in order to get that longevity or that position?
Contract,
and
yes.
so you had to do that. And,
Yes.
and we all have had to do that. You have to go beyond, you have to think outside the box. And nothing is going to fall in your lap.
No.
And
right.
so you have to either work extra, volunteer, sometimes when there's no pay, and you have to be there. We try to get our young people to get jobs. Well, you're not going to get a job, you're sitting in the house. You have to get out there and be in contact with people, and someone will begin to notice the gifts that are within you. and that positive attitude that you have, that willingness spirit, and that's another component that's important, have a willing spirit to do. And those are the things that will begin to drive you forward and help with job placement. A lot of parents are trying to help out their young people with getting a job, because you feel bad when there's no employment for you. But those are the characteristics: finding your niche, looking at your gift, being out there, going volunteers, and then having a willing spirit, because nobody wants anybody working for them if you're grumpy. And they're not going to keep you, and they're not going to tolerate, and then you find yourself out of employment. So now, what else would you like, because we're getting near the close, what else can you tell us about the young people that you see coming in as freshmen?
I think that they need to reach out more to their teachers, to their professors. When they're not getting it, when they're not understanding, they need to ask. A lot of them don't ask questions, especially speaking from African American perspective. I wish I had a professor that was African American, that was teaching my class, that was asking me, come by my office whenever you want. If you need help, come by. And they don't take advantage of it.
Yes,
They don't understand it.
yes.
And I can count the number of African American males I had as a professor. It wasn't in African Studies program. It wasn't in and so they don't reach out. They've been taught not to ask the professor. The professor's too busy. Don't ask the professor. But if you see someone of color and they've been where you've been, and they're reaching out, you gotta take them up on the offer. You gotta meet them. And it's not a problem. Just come by for help. Don't. And those of us that make it, we have to make ourselves available.
Right.
Yes,
We can't
yes.
just do our thing and not reach back. And so that's what
powerful.
all else I wanted to add. Yeah.
And that's a good note, because
Yeah.
parents need to ask your young people, are you going to find out? Are you asking questions?
Yeah.
And are you taking time out of your time? Forget about lunch. Young people worry about eating lunch. Skip lunch. You need to go and spend time with that teacher and begin to find out and get that food, that knowledge that you need. Don't worry, because you get home, you're going to eat.
That's right.
That's for certain.
That's right.
So I appreciate that note to the parents, so that they can begin to push the young people to spend some time after school and additional seeking out support from the teacher, even not only as they're in high school, but also as they go out to college. Parents that are sending their young people to college, make certain that because now you're spending money.
Yeah.
And that's very important. So make certain those young people are spending time making contact with the professors. And it's very important. Well, we appreciate you. And we're very proud of all that you have accomplished. It's nice when you see our young people, like I said, in the area of mathematics. We know
Yes,
that's a key
yes.
area. And that you, like you said, you found that niche, and you were in high school when you began to, and so like that middle school, high school time period when you began to see that your worth. So always certain within, like I always point out, and we always say that everyone has a gift within, but
Yes.
you're not going to find it if you don't search out, or
Yes.
if you don't get involved with people, or you got to come outside of your shell and begin to look, and finally that gift that's within you will begin to come out. So I'm hoping that
Don't worry about it.
our parents that are home and those young people that have been watching, that they took that message. We want to make certain that we point out that we're seeking out substitutes.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so if you're interested in substituting, contact Mr. Pritchett at 275-1746. And many of the young people that have been coming to substitute, they found full-time jobs. So it goes back to what you're saying, that coming out and being involved, and that's how you begin to meet with success. Well, we wish you continued success at in all that you're doing, and to help young people. And anything you'd like to say?
Well, yeah, I just want to say, first of all, I think you're shortchanging yourself. Those young people that are getting jobs as substitutes, not getting full-time jobs, it's because you have personally made them make a commitment to do better and to sit down with them. You gave them hope. You gave them an understanding that they can do it. And I'm just so proud of what you've done, because a lot of those individuals, when we first worked with them, they just gave up. And now they're making, they have full-time jobs, they're getting benefits. And that's because of what you did to push them. So same way she's pushing you. We want to have more Mr. Reamers doing math. And so they will be at some of these universities, because you are making sure that happens. And Mr. and Mrs. Pritchard, we're going to make sure that we get some more Mr. Reamers like you out there doing this mathematics. We know what time it is. We know what needs to be done. And so I just had to get that in, because you've done a great job pushing those young people, male and female. They're working. They got a full-time job. Can't beat it.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, Mr. Lidge. And good night to our viewing audience.
Right.